Prison meals. Exposed. The hidden reality of inmate food. The rotting tray. The first bite. The camera opens inside a prison cafeteria. A steel tray is slammed onto the table. On it, mystery meat swimming in watery gravy, moldy bread, and a faint stench that makes even the guards turn away. An inmate takes one bite, then spits it out. He's furious. He swears it's spoiled. Moments later, he's doubled over, holding his stomach. Whispers ripple across the room. They poisoned us. The guards rush in, sirens wail, but the truth is darker than anyone expects. Was it food poisoning or something worse? If this is what's being served every single day, how many others have already gotten sick without anyone ever finding out? How it all began. The promise of a meal. Prison meals were supposed to be simple but safe. 3 servings a day, the same promise made to every inmate across America. Breakfast, lunch, dinner, nothing fancy, just food to keep people alive. But behind that promise lies cost-cutting, hidden contracts, and the ugly truth about what lands on those trays. The switch to cheap vendors. Years ago, prisons began outsourcing food to private companies. Officials told the public it would save money. What they didn't say was that meals would be made with the cheapest ingredients possible. Expired milk powder, frozen soy meat blocks, even leftovers unfit for schools or hospitals. The daily reality. Inmates line up for watery oatmeal at 5 a.m. For lunch, they get peanut butter spread so thin it barely covers the bread. Dinner? A lump of grayish meatloaf nobody can identify. Some say it's beef, others swear it's not even real meat. It's not just bland, it's survival food. And it's breaking people down from the inside. The First Outbreak. Whispers in the block. At first, the complaints are just background noise, guys joking about Mystery Meat Monday. But then one night the jokes stop. An entire cell block wakes up sick, vomiting, doubled over in pain, begging for medical attention. Chaos in the cafeteria. The next day, the cafeteria is tense. Inmates push their trays away. Some refuse to eat. The guards shout, threatening punishment if they skip meals. Tension builds, voices rise, and suddenly trays fly across the room. It's chaos. Extreme event ending. A guard is hit in the face with a tray of rotten stew. The sirens blare. Riot shields slam the floor. Inmates roar in protest, and for the first time, the prison realizes this isn't just about food anymore. Aftermath of the riot. Silence in the halls. The riot dies down, but the silence afterward is even scarier. Prison corridors echo with the sound of dripping water and boots scraping against the floor. Inmates are locked down, guards are on edge, and everyone is whispering about the food that started it all. The investigation begins. Medical staff arrive late. They check the sick inmates but write down vague notes. Possible stomach bug. Food intolerance. No official admits it's food poisoning. Instead, trays of the same gray meatloaf are still being pushed out the next morning. The inmates don't buy it. Rumors spread that the vendor supplying food is using expired ingredients bought dirt cheap. Some even claim they saw cockroaches crawling in the storage room. Bargaining for survival. On the inside, food is currency. The stronger prisoners hoard instant noodles, honey buns, and chips from the commissary. Those who can't afford it, they're stuck with the cafeteria meals. Fights break out over a single pack of ramen. Starvation becomes a weapon, and the poor get weaker each day. Extreme event ending. One inmate, desperate. He's sick and furious, collapses in the chow line, foam forming at the corners of his mouth. Other prisoners erupt, shouting, pounding on the glass windows, demanding answers. Guards rush in, dragging the lifeless body away. The question that now haunts the prison: was this man's death an accident, or the hidden reality of prison food finally claiming its first victim? Cover up and control. The official story. The next morning, the warden releases a statement. No foul play suspected. The inmate died of natural causes. But nobody inside believes it. Everyone saw him eat the spoiled stew. Everyone saw him collapse. The guards are told to stay quiet. Medical reports are locked away, and yet the rumors spread faster than ever. Fear in the cells. Inside the blocks, inmates start refusing trays altogether. Some try to survive only on water and commissary snacks. Others gamble for better food, trading cigarettes and soap just to avoid the chow hall. But those without money, they're trapped, staring at their trays with fear, eat and risk sickness, or starve and grow weaker. The vendor connection. A whisper leaks out. The food vendor supplying this prison has been fined before for cutting corners, sending moldy bread, meat past expiration, powdered eggs that smell rotten. Yet somehow they still hold the contract. Why? Some inmates say bribes keep the system running. Others believe it's just profit over human lives. Extreme event ending. Tension boils over during dinner. A group of inmates flip tables, hurling trays against the walls. The guards storm in with batons. In the chaos, one inmate manages to grab a kitchen worker by the collar, shouting for answers. The worker panics and blurts out, "It's all expired. They told us to serve it anyway." The cafeteria explodes with rage. And for the first time, the truth isn't just rumor. It's spoken out loud. The whisper becomes a roar. The secret spreads. Word spreads like wildfire. From cell to cell, block to block, every inmate now knows what the kitchen worker said. The food was expired, and everyone's been eating it for months. Some prisoners grow paranoid, refusing every tray. Others stash spoiled food under their bunks, determined to show it as evidence. The fear isn't just about hunger anymore. It's about betrayal. Guards on edge. The guards feel the shift. The usual jeers from inmates have turned into silence, cold stares, and whispered threats. Chow time becomes a standoff. Inmates drag their feet, guards tighten their grip on batons, everyone waiting for the first spark. Desperation in the commissary. Prices in the commissary skyrocket overnight. A pack of ramen noodles, once worth a few cents, now costs multiple favors. Those who control the food control the power. Gangs start stockpiling, while the weakest grow pale and thin. Extreme event ending. One evening during a tray distribution, an inmate spots green mold covering his bread. He hurls it at the officer, screaming, "You're feeding us garbage!" In an instant, dozens of inmates join in, throwing trays, rotten meat, spoiled milk cartons. The chow hall turns into a storm of flying food and fists. Guards charge in, swinging batons, but the inmates don't back down. This isn't just a fight anymore. It's the start of something bigger. The prison erupts. The lockdown order. After the food riot, the prison goes on immediate lockdown. Sirens echo down every hallway. Cell doors slam shut. Guards march with shields, barking orders. On the intercom, the warden's voice thunders. Return to order or face consequences. But the message only fuels the anger. For the inmates, this isn't about rules anymore. It's about survival. Hunger turns to fury. Hours pass. No meals are served. The prison grows restless. Men bang on doors, shouting, demanding real food. Some try to craft makeshift weapons from sharpened plastic, convinced another riot is coming. Meanwhile, whispers spread of an organized protest refusing trays until the truth about the food is exposed. Hunger, fear, and rage fuse into something unstoppable. Pressure on the outside. News begins to leak out. Families of inmates call the prison demanding answers. A local newspaper runs a small story. Food crisis inside state prison. Officials scramble to keep it quiet, terrified the scandal will explode beyond the walls. Extreme event ending. That night, a guard wheels in a cart of new meals. Inmates lean forward, hoping for fresh food at last. But when the trays are opened, the smell of rot fills the hall. The meals are worse than before. Watery beans, spoiled meat, and bread crawling with insects. Fury ignites. Inmates kick their cell doors, hurling curses, pounding in unison like a war drum. Then, with a deafening roar, a fire erupts in one of the blocks. Someone has set their tray ablaze and shoved it through the bars. The prison is no longer just hungry, it's on fire. Flames of rebellion, smoke in the air. Thick black smoke snakes through the prison corridors. Inmates cough and shout, pressing shirts to their mouths. The alarms blare, but no one knows if it's for the fire or the uprising that's now underway. Guards rush in with fire extinguishers, but they're met with jeers and fists banging on cell doors. The fire isn't just flames, it's a symbol, a message. We're done eating your poison. The boiling point. Word spreads quickly across blocks. Inmates chant together, their voices echoing off the concrete. Real food, real food. It's not just one group now. It's the entire prison united by hunger, sickness, and rage. Some guards look shaken. They've eaten the same cafeteria meals during long shifts, and they know the truth. Whispers begin even among staff. What if the inmates are right? Desperate choices. The warden scrambles for a solution. Should he bring in outside investigators? Shut down the cafeteria entirely? Or crush the protest with force before it spreads? Every option risks disaster. Extreme event ending. As negotiations stall, an explosion of sound rips through the prison. Cell doors in one block suddenly swing open. Whether it's sabotage, a guard's mistake, or an inmate hack, no one knows. Dozens of prisoners surge into the halls, fists clenched, eyes blazing with hunger and fury. The food scandal has now sparked something far more dangerous. A prison-wide uprising. The Uprising Unleashed. The storm breaks. The unlocked doors change everything. Inmates pour into the hallways, shouting, waving makeshift weapons, and demanding answers. The prison echoes like a battlefield. Boots stomping, fists pounding, metal clanging. Some prisoners head straight for the kitchen. Others smash vending machines and hoard whatever snacks they can find. Hunger has become rebellion, and rebellion is spreading like wildfire. Guards in retreat. The guards try to form a line with riot shields, but the sheer numbers of inmates force them backward. The air is thick with smoke, sweat, and anger. Radios crackle. We're losing control of Block C, requesting immediate backup. For the first time, the staff fear they may not make it out alive. Desperation in the kitchen. In the chaos, a group of inmates storms the kitchen. Pots are overturned, trays smashed, freezers thrown open. Inside, they find what they feared: boxes of expired meat, mold-covered cheese, and bulk bags of soy protein stamped with dates from years ago. Proof, evidence, and fuel for the fire. Extreme event ending. One inmate, holding up a spoiled slab of meat for everyone to see, screams, "They're killing us with this!" The crowd roars in fury, and at that moment, the guards charge in with tear gas. Smoke fills the kitchen. Men cough and choke. Trays fly like weapons, and the entire prison becomes a war zone. The standoff. Smoke and sirens. Tear gas clouds drift through the corridors. Inmates cover their faces with torn shirts, banging on the walls to keep their spirits high. Guards retreat into fortified positions, waiting for reinforcements. From the outside, fire trucks and police cars surround the prison. News helicopters hover overhead, capturing the smoke billowing from the rooftops. What started as spoiled food is now a full-blown crisis broadcast to the world. Voices from the inside. Through smuggled phones, inmates record shaky videos showing rotten meat, crawling insects in storage bins, and men collapsed on the floor from sickness. These clips leak online within minutes, sparking outrage, from families and activists demanding answers. The prison administration scrambles, terrified of the public's reaction. But inside, the inmates no longer care about the outside world's opinion. They want justice now. Negotiations or force? The warden faces an impossible choice. Should he negotiate with the inmates, promising better food and investigations? Or should he order a violent sweep to crush the rebellion before more footage leaks out? Whispers spread among guards. Some say they won't follow orders to use force on starving men. The prison's chain of command is cracking. Extreme event ending. Suddenly, a deafening blast shakes the prison. A storage room has exploded, set ablaze during the chaos. Flames climb higher, alarms scream louder, and both guards and inmates realize they've lost control. Now it's not just about food or power, it's about survival. Outside pressure. The world is watching. By morning, the prison is no longer a hidden story. National news outlets broadcast live footage of smoke, flashing lights, and chaos behind barbed wire. Headlines scream, "Prison food crisis sparks riot." Families of inmates gather outside the gates, chanting for justice. Activists demand investigations into prison food contracts. The scandal is out and the authorities can't hide it anymore. SWAT at the gates. Armored trucks arrive. SWAT teams in black gear stand ready, their shields glinting under floodlights. Helicopters circle above, their spotlights sweeping across the yard. The inmates can hear the roar of engines and the metallic click of weapons being loaded. The message is clear. Force is about to be unleashed. Inside the inferno. Inside, the inmates cling to control. They've barricaded hallways with broken beds, armed themselves with pipes and shanks, and secured the kitchen as their stronghold. Some chant, some pray, and some cry quietly in the dark. But hunger gnaws at them. Supplies are running low. The commissary's been emptied. Even the spoiled food is nearly gone. Now they face the truth. Their rebellion may end in fire and blood. Extreme event ending. As the SWAT team prepares to breach, the inmates make a desperate move. From the rooftop, a banner made from bed sheets drops into view. In bold, shaky letters, it reads, "We are being poisoned." The crowd outside gasps. Cameras zoom in. The truth is now undeniable. And just as the banner unfurls, the first flashbang detonates at the gates. The final showdown has begun. The final showdown, breach of the gates. The first flashbang explodes, shaking the walls. SWAT teams pour into the yard with shields raised, rifles aimed. The ground vibrates with the sound of boots. Inside, inmates brace themselves. They hurl broken furniture, scream chants of "real food, real food." The air is thick with smoke, fire, and the metallic stench of fear. Clash in the corridors. The SWAT advances, but the narrow hallways are traps. Inmates fight back with desperation, swinging pipes, throwing burning rags, smashing glass. Every corner is chaos, flashlights cutting through smoke, shouts blending with cries of pain. But as the battle rages, one group of inmates sneaks toward the prison's storage offices. They're not just fighting for survival. They're after proof, the hidden files. Inside a dusty cabinet, they find boxes of documents, invoices, delivery slips, inspection reports. The papers tell the story: contracts awarded to the lowest bidder, meat rejected by supermarkets, powdered milk expired for years, all stamped okay for institutional use. It's the smoking gun, the evidence of the hidden reality they've been living and dying through. Extreme event ending. But before they can carry the files out, the door slams open. SWAT officers storm in, weapons raised. Tear gas canisters roll across the floor. The inmates clutch the files to their chests, coughing, choking, but refusing to let go. Because now this isn't just about food. It's about exposing the truth to the world. the fight for the truth. Smoke and paper. Tear gas chokes the room. Inmates cough, stumble, but clutch the documents tighter. Pages scatter across the floor. Blurred stamps, faded signatures, proof of corruption. A SWAT officer yells, "Drop it, now!" But the inmates refuse. One, bleeding from his arm, shouts through the haze, "The world needs to see this, a desperate escape." You see, among the smoke as cover, two prisoners stuff the files into garbage bags. They push past the chaos, sprinting through side corridors toward the yard. Guards close in, batons swinging, but the inmates fight with raw desperation, throwing anything they can to slow them down. Every step feels like a race against silence. If these papers are destroyed, the truth dies with them. The yard showdown. The yard is a battlefield. Helicopter lights sweep across smoke and fire. Families outside press against the fences, screaming. The inmates burst out, holding the bags high, waving the papers for everyone to see. The crowd outside roars. Cameras zoom in. For the first time, the evidence is out in the open. Extreme event ending. But just as the inmates raise the files to the sky, a sharp crack echoes. Rubber bullets fly. Smoke grenades explode. One inmate falls, clutching the papers to his chest as the pages scatter in the wind. Dozens of documents flutter through the air, landing against the fence where cameras capture every damning word. The secret can't be hidden anymore. The fallout. The world reacts. By morning, the leaked documents are everywhere. On TV, social media, front-page headlines. Words like expired, unfit for consumption, and cost-cutting flash across screens. Families outside the prison weep with anger. Reporters demand answers from officials. Activists call it a human rights scandal. For the first time, the hidden reality of prison meals is undeniable. The crackdown. Inside, the uprising collapses under force. Inmates are beaten, shackled, dragged back to their cells. Fires are put out, the prison is locked down tighter than ever, but the story can't be locked away. The files have already left the walls. Evidence of corruption, negligence, and greed is now in the hands of the public. The aftermath. Weeks later, investigations begin. Contracts are suspended. Officials are called to testify. But for the inmates who lived it, the hunger, the sickness, the betrayal, justice feels far away. Some prisons quietly switch food vendors. Others deny everything, claiming the riot was just an excuse for violence. And in the chow halls that remain open, steel trays still clang on tables. The meals look the same. The smell lingers, and the fear never truly leaves. The unanswered question. Prisons are supposed to correct people, but what happens when the very food they serve becomes a weapon, cutting corners, saving money, and poisoning those inside? The hidden reality of prison meals has been exposed, but the haunting question remains. If it happened here, how many other prisons are serving the same rotten truth right now?